Hello and welcome to Tech Trends. I'm Olayemi Odunuga, and here's what's coming up on the program this week. We'll be highlighting Moonshot, a platform that brings together key players in the tech industry to drive Africa's contribution to the global tech landscape. Also on the program, as we continue to celebrate Cybersecurity Awareness Month, I'll be sitting down with Tobe Unadozie, Divisional Head of Business Technology and Digital Innovation at CSCS PLC, to discuss navigating innovation while managing cybersecurity risks. Remember, this is the program that takes you on a ride in 25 minutes to seek out innovation and creativity that are unique to Africa. So whether you're a tech enthusiast or just curious about how tech impacts you, you are in the right place. Grab a seat and let's dive right into it. No longer are technology and cyber issues confined to tech geeks in some back room. In the digital age, IT issues are front and center. They are central to what government does and how it does it. Africa's startup ecosystem has rapidly become a vibrant hub of innovation powered by a new generation of entrepreneurs solving critical challenges across various sectors like fintech, agriculture, healthcare, and renewable energy. With better access to tech and a growing pool of investment, these startups are not only addressing local needs, but are also positioning themselves for global impact. However, scaling these innovations beyond the continent presents unique challenges. This is where platforms like Moonshot by TechCabal come into play, bringing together key stakeholders to discuss strategies for building world-class ventures and ensuring Africa's contribution to the global tech landscape. The second annual Moonshot by TechCabal conference kicks off with a mix of entrepreneurs, investors, regulators, and tech enthusiasts. With the theme, Building for the World, the conference aims to explore how African startups are tackling the complexities of global expansion.
We hope that this is a productive...
The CEO of Big Cabal Media sets the tone for the day by highlighting the importance of collaboration and innovation in driving Africa's tech ecosystem forward.
The world is moving, technology is evolving, and if we're not going to be left behind, if we're going to build companies that have the growth rates and have the escape velocity, that have total addressable markets that are large enough for viable and VC-pleasing exits, we have to go further afield. While the continent has been the foundation of our innovation and of our entrepreneurial spirit, the challenges that we face here have made it clear that we must truly build for the world. Our mindset has to be totally global. So when we think globally, we can transcend the limitations of our local markets. We can access larger markets. We can have more consistent infrastructure. We can find exits at global multiples. But with global ambition come global challenges. How do we scale African innovation in an increasingly competitive world? How do we equip our entrepreneurs and teams with the skills, the talent, the resilience needed to thrive on the global stage over the next decade and beyond on
the spotlight then shifts to a fireside chat with the Minister of Communication, Innovation and Digital Economy, Dr. Bosun Tijani. The conversation centers around how the minister's digital transformation agenda is linked to economic growth, as well as his intentions with Nigeria's AI strategy.
One thing that we've been struggling with in terms of being able to raise the level of GDP is productivity. Correct. And again, if you have economics background, you probably know that there's absolutely no way you can drive productivity without technology. If you're going to be visionary about it, there's absolutely no world where you focus on wicked problems. The reality is that for Africa, historically, we've battled with what we refer to in economics as wicked problems. These are problems that the solution to them and the requirement for solving them, they're constantly evolving. So when we talk about AI, you need to understand the entire ecosystem of artificial intelligence to truly say whether Nigeria should participate or not. Because AI is not going to be where we need it to be if certain part of the world's context is not digitized. If everything we know about Africa is not digitized, AI is not going to be where it needs to be. And you can do digitization of data without doing the actual processing of it, without the GPU. Africa, Nigeria can come up with some of the smartest new ways of digitizing data so that we can actually get paid for doing that part of the work. And we can own a part of the AI ecosystem.
After the chat, the public policy manager for Anglophone West Africa at Meta sparks a conversation around open and responsible innovation.
In order to achieve that objective of increasing development, enhancing development, you have to do this immersive and innovative technology in an open way. And what do I mean by that? That means that you don't have just a select few that are developing technology and then other people do not have access to it. And that's why we are very big proponents of open source technology. This means that developers can access the technologies that we build. For instance, we have a large language model called Llama, and we're now on the 3.2 iteration of it. People have access to be able to build on top of that. Why is that important? We know that it takes significant resources, financially, human capital, to be able to develop these sorts of technologies. And we don't always have the access to be able to do that on our own on the continent. But those that have access should be able to do it in such a way that we can then utilize that and build on top of it to create the solutions that we need. The only way that's possible is by having open source and open access.
African data initiatives.
Attention later turns to a panel session on the battle for representation and the significance of Africa controlling its own data to shape global AI platforms.
I think where we are doing things right is in terms of capturing information around like the fintech space. So, you know, our financial history and having a good understanding of where what is at what time and in real time. Having said that, we need to be very secure with the data, and we need to be able to have or allow every single user to be in control of that data.
If there's any time where our continent or Africa is better positioned to be in cutting-edge learning at the same level as anyone anywhere in the world, is this time. But the second layer is that you need the right level of encouragement and motivation to learn.
As day one of the event wraps up, the discussions on digital transformation, AI and innovation leave attendees with meaningful perspectives into the future of Africa's tech ecosystem, especially as the continent continues to position itself as a global tech leader. In Abuja, Nigeria, a project called Deaf in Tech is revolutionizing the tech industry for those with hearing impairments. Founded by Dr. Ayola Arobolo, a consultant specializing in diversity, equity, and inclusivity, the project is part of a larger initiative by Nigerian tech company Data Lead Africa, which is aimed at bridging the skill and employment gap for persons with disabilities. The Deaf in Tech Lab, where the project is based, is an environment of learning and empowerment. Here, deaf instructors like Victor are reshaping the narrative for the deaf community by teaching coding in Python, which is a high-level programming language.
I started studying Python. Of course, it was challenging at first, and using Python for data analysis, especially when it comes to teaching the deaf community. I have come to see the passion and the interest it brings towards the deaf community when they learn and they feel proud about it. And I'm very excited when I'm coding in Python, and this has made me to learn new things, and I'm hoping to learn more.
Students such as Nafisat Bawa are also enthusiastic about their journey in the tech world. She hopes that the skills she's acquiring will help us secure a better job in the future.
My expectations when I graduate from here is to be able to find a better job with my skill.
However, the project is not just about technical skills. It's about fostering an atmosphere of inclusivity and diversity. Signs in the lab read, inspiring diversity, equity, and inclusion in the workplace. emphasizing the project's commitment to bridging the economic gap for persons with disabilities. Dr. Arowolo sees the project as a response to the lack of opportunities for the deaf community, particularly women who face additional challenges due to the intersection of gender and disability.
Gender intersecting with disability puts the deaf women way behind than even the deaf men. So if we don't specifically do something for the deaf women, we'll be increasing that gap, that economic gap. And so our focus was to get more women, and we're glad that it worked in this cohort. We have about 86% of this current cohort as women, as against what we've been having in previous cohorts.
Another student, Buba Issa, echoes this sentiment. She sees the program as a stepping stone to a brighter future.
My motivation actually to join this training was to learn and have a better understanding and improve my knowledge on tech and learn new things, to have a deeper knowledge about tech and how it can help me, help my life, my future, and my aspirations.
Since its inception in 2022, the Deaf in Tech project has trained nearly 1,000 deaf individuals, providing them with the skills and knowledge to thrive in the tech industry. The United Nations Survey Report on Disability in 2018 revealed that there are 2 billion people living with disabilities worldwide, with the majority living in developing countries. Going by the UN report, 25.5 million are Nigerian living with disabilities, out of which 9.5 million are deaf Nigerians who deserve decent living conditions.
To the basics. Did you know Google's first tweet was in binary? Google's first tweet was in 2009 and it was gibberish to most. Posted on February the 25th, 2009, the tweet read exactly as follows. When translated from binary to English, it reads, "I'm feeling lucky." To a regular human, Google's first ever tweet on Twitter makes no sense, but to a computer programmer or someone familiar with binary code, it made perfect sense. The tweet was a playful nod to Google's iconic "I'm feeling lucky" search button and demonstrated the company's tech-savvy, code-centric humor.
As we continue to embrace the digital age, businesses are facing increasing pressure to innovate in order to stay competitive. But with every tech advancement comes a new set of cybersecurity challenges. Balancing the need for constant innovation with the growing threat of cyber attacks is no easy feat, and it requires a delicate approach to ensure both progress and security go hand in hand. As part of Cybersecurity Awareness Month, we'll be going deep into this conversation by speaking with Tobe Unadozie, the Divisional Head of Business Technology and Digital Innovation at CSCS PLC. So with this conversation, we'll be centered around, balancing both your technical insights and, with a broader awareness of cybersecurity that's especially relevant at this time, since it's Cybersecurity Awareness Month. So let's start with, the role of innovation in cybersecurity, with the creation and application of, new and improved technologies at a fast pace. Do you think cybersecurity has become more of a barrier or an enabler?
So with the new technologies coming in, I think cybersecurity is getting more ingrained in our lives. So it's more of an enabler as we begin to see tech take over the bulk of everything we do. So I mean, the challenge to tech usage within our environment are cybersecurity threats. So cybersecurity, the use of either principles, policies, or technologies of cybersecurity is becoming top of the burner for everyone.
Toby, we're seeing cyber threats, evolve as quickly as the technologies themselves. How would you advise we stay ahead of these threats while embracing change or upgrade?
So I think I would categorize my response in three major buckets. The first one is collaboration. I think one of the challenges with most, especially developing markets, is they don't have proper collaboration. And when you don't speak, when you've suffered, the probability that the next neighbor to you would fall into the same trap is there. So I think collaboration needs to become much more, a part of what we do. Number two is we need to also make sure we pay particular attention, not just to the threats, to even our people. Because one of the things I've seen is you find out that many cybersecurity threats are able to, grow within environments where the people are actually not well informed, or where you have people who are not happy with, the system and can easily create loopholes, for it. The third thing is regulation. Now, regulation as we have today is majorly, looking at facts after incidents. Regulation needs to be more proactive. So as we talk about whether it's data protection regulation, whether it's even, comms regulation, we need to start having, more forward-thinking regulation to help so that we can keep ahead of the cyber criminals who seem to be looking for how to get ahead of the tech.
Now, Toby, you mentioned collaboration, people, regulation, but let's stick, to people right now, because people are often considered the weakest link in cybersecurity. How can we ensure that as individuals, and of course, organizations can stay aware and proactive, about this risk?
Okay, incidentally, one of the parts of cybersecurity, which I think most organizations don't take as serious as they should, why they spend a whole lot of money on technology, is cyber vigilance. Cyber vigilance is a major part of cybersecurity, but in today's world, you would hardly hear any of the topmost cybersecurity experts say, I'm an SME, subject matter expert in cyber vigilance. So we need to take cyber vigilance more seriously. What is cyber vigilance? It's about ensuring that the people are well aware of the vulnerabilities, the potentials of threats, and the potentials of, threats coming in through cyber security challenges, and knowing what to do when it happens. So for me, in talking about the people, we have to take cyber vigilance more important. We have to make sure we let people know what it's all about. We let people know that even your phone is a very huge potential vulnerability, not just to you, to an ecosystem. So as people get to be more aware, then we let them know what they need to do when things happen.
Toby, let's talk about, artificial intelligence, which is, playing a huge role in innovation today. How is AI helping professionals like yourself, secure your innovations? And what risks does AI bring to the cybersecurity table? Okay.
Interestingly, let me talk about the risk before I talk about, the blessings from AI. So cyber criminals are spending as much, almost as much, as the formal sector in artificial intelligence. Today, for example, all the challenges you would have, maybe with a phishing mail or a phishing website, they're eliminated with the use of artificial intelligence. And the artificial intelligence tools will understand their target much more than the humans will understand their target. So the coming in of AI, it has a lot of blessings, but it comes with its own challenges. It's empowering cyber criminals to be able to properly, target individuals, to be able to properly profile individuals, to be able to properly package an attack, which is a problem. But on the good side is what AI does for us in the cybersecurity, business or field is that it helps you be able to easily understand trends, which humans may find a little bit difficult to see. With artificial intelligence, it can help you not just detect the trend, it helps you detect the trend. It helps you monitor when the trend is going beyond certain thresholds, and it can actually help you see others who have similar challenges and what they have done and those that have been successful. So you don't have to go in through a failed, threat mechanism. So with artificial intelligence, we're able to properly, resolve things because it helps us learn from those who may have passed through similar things. And it helps us see the attacks faster. We're having a lot of challenges with resources in cybersecurity field. I mean, they're expensive, they are rare. With artificial intelligence, you don't need to have, so many people. You just need to have very skilled, smart guys who will now use the tools to support the system.
Yeah, I agree with you because it's quite important, that we as individuals, understand these tools and also stay ahead, with trends in order to stay secure. But again, Toby, the month of October is Cybersecurity Awareness Month, right? And it's a great time to focus on creating a cybersecurity culture. How do you build a culture where cybersecurity is everyone's responsibility, especially in an innovation-driven environment?
So I think the first thing is, talking back to the cyber vigilance, which we talked about, people need to be aware that we are strong as our weakest link. And the truth is, if you see something, say something like, the enforcement guys say. So the first thing is people need to be aware of the potential risk. The next thing is, I think people need to also be aware of the costs of breaches. Many times people are not aware of the cost of breaches. I mean, sometimes you'll be shocked. Someone in the train of activities who exposes the entire firm and creates a very big, loss, is not aware of the weight of the loss. Highest you ask the person to go, but the person doesn't understand that as a result of your inability to keep your credentials properly, you went online to, a phishing site or somewhere else to expose your credentials. You've exposed this company to a very huge loss. So I think the first thing is let people be aware of the vulnerabilities. Number two, let people be aware of the weight of potential exposures when they happen, and let people know what to do. So sometimes we find out that when there's a cybersecurity attack, it spreads faster than it should because the people who are the first recipients of the attack don't know what to do. So in this cybersecurity month, it's important to let people know what to do.
Sometimes they're not even aware that they are the link.
Correct. But with new tools now, you can easily flash on someone's system and say, oh, we're having something, we're investigating. If it's going to be as easy as shut down your laptop and bring it to the tech center for a review, I think it's very important. People just need to be aware. And we need to put tools in place to let it come more to the top of the table, top of mind, that things people could do when there is a breach. Because breaches, more often than not, will one way happen one day. So people need to be prepared for when it happens.
Most definitely. And with the speed at which new technologies are emerging, we all have to stay
very alert.
Exactly, stay alert when it comes to cyber threats. But what are some of the key cybersecurity challenges you expect to face in the next few years?
I was looking at the report at how the trends are going in 2024, and most tech magazines and cybersecurity solution providers, top is still ransomware. Because ransomware, whether you are doing a targeted attack, whether you are doing a widespread attack, once people get in, it's easy to create the risk, and the gains are too much for the cyber criminal. So ransomware is still top of mind. Yes. So I think it's something we need to pay attention to this month. And ransomware comes with, you exposing what you should not expose, you trying to be greedy to get into what you shouldn't get into. And that's why people need to be careful. So I think ransomware is still going to be top in terms of the cyber criminals. Then I think with the use of technology, IoT is becoming a very big challenge, and it's coming higher. I mean, now everything is controlled. You control your car, you control your lights, you control everything. You use your phone for everything. And the truth is, once there is a leakage on any of the things which you have connected, it exposes you. So IoT, threats are becoming very, very huge. Another thing I would say is data leakages or data breaches. I mean, we've had a couple of very, very embarrassing ones. In fact, it's becoming so bad today that on various platforms, if you want to create your profile, they have a list of places where your username or your password would have been breached. I mean, it's getting that bad. So I think it's becoming a bigger issue. People need to be careful. People need to start getting platforms that will help them get more hardened passwords to use, which would change the passwords frequently, at least so you can keep ahead. These 3 things or 4 things, I mean, talking about ransomware, data breaches, user profiling and all that, I think they are, then IoT, those 4 things would be 4 of the things which I think everyone should be worrying about in this cybersecurity month.
All right. I also will stay aware, on my side.
Please do.
Well, thank you so much for joining the conversation. Tobin Nadoze, Divisional Head, Business Technology and Digital Innovation at CSCS PLC. It was great talking to you and having you on the program.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure.
That's all for this week on Tech Trends. I hope you enjoyed the episode and picked up something new along the way. Remember, Tech Trends is here to keep you updated on insights, trends, and developments happening in the tech space. And don't forget, you can catch all of our episodes on the channel's TV YouTube account. Make sure to watch, share, and like your favorite editions. Also, be sure to catch us next week for more updates in the tech scene. Until then, I'm Olayemi Odunuga, and I'll see you next time.